listen to the entirety of the film. All right. Well, here we go. Folks, welcome. Another evening of editing on the book. My name is Tig. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll be streaming here every Monday night, usually between 5 and 8, with the exception of last week. And most holidays, it's always kind of iffy around that time. If you're watching my YouTube channel, usually I'll have the video up shortly after the stream is over. So, for those who don't know, I am a variety streamer, I guess you could say. Gaming, writing, occasionally some TTRPG things I've done with some other people. But for the most part, the last few months I've been streaming the live writing of my second novel. And over the past few weeks, been editing that second novel. As of now, I am in the process of getting my Kickstarter up and going, which should be going live this month for the funds to actually publish the first book and pay for the professional editor to do the second round of editing on this second book. So that Kickstarter will be going live soon. If you're interested, if you've been following or watching the writing of this story and editing of this story, and you want to know what happened to the title character after this time, or you're interested in anything else that might be going on in this world, then you have a great opportunity to read up on that and find out more about that with the Kickstarter. So I'm looking forward to getting this published, getting these stories out there. There's at least 2 more books coming after this one. And I'm looking forward to just sharing more of this world with anybody who'd be interested in some more fantasy. So, having said that, if you're joining me here on Twitch, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy what you see. Hope you find something here that interests you, and that if nothing else inspires you to complete your own projects, whatever they may be, scientific, artistic, writing, sculpting, painting, whatever art you do. I hope that you are encouraged to do your own thing. If you're watching YouTube, same thing. I hope you're inspired to do your own thing and to really just give it your all, put it out there, and enjoy the process. Having said that, it's time for me to get back to some editing. For anyone who's interested in any of the music that you hear in the background, I will make sure that the link to that is in the chat here on Twitch and in the video description on the YouTube channel when this goes live. Good to see you, Digital. Welcome back for another week. Sorry for not being here last week. Glad to have you with us this week. Lots going on. It's been a very busy time for me, but I'm excited about getting some things done and moving forward with a couple of these projects. So I'm hoping that anyone who has followed thus far, hoping that you've enjoyed watching me go through my process, and I look forward to continuing and to bring you more stories. Oh yeah, we're keeping things going, man. Keeping things going. Sometimes we have barriers. Sometimes they slow us down, but we get back up. We keep it pushing. should be an A. taking a brief moment to pause here. Okay, so this first round of editing, I'm mostly just concerned with making sure I haven't missed anything as far as continuity, catching spelling and grammatical errors. Occasionally rewording some things if things seem a little different or a little weird in the reading. But other than that, mostly it's just the grammatical and the spelling things and continuity. I'm going to finish up my round, but then there will be another round of editing where I'll hire a professional editor. This is what I've done with the first book. Hire a professional editor. They'll take a look, point out some things that they think would sharpen things up, clean things up, and make things better. And then they'll send that back. I'll go through. I'll make the changes as suggested, or we'll explain why certain things should be the way they are for a particular reason, and we'll go back and forth, and then finalize it. That'll finish the editing process. I bring that up to say occasionally I do go through and I'll reword some things. It's an interesting thing when you're writing, and if you've been watching the stream for a number of months or any length of time, then you've seen or heard me say that I just want to get words on the page. I could continue to mention get words on the page because initially that is important if you're going to bother to write a story. If you stay worried about trying to get the perfect wording, have everything just right, if you let yourself get frozen in that state of just trying to make sure everything looks so perfect, a lot of times you get locked and you don't ever actually bother to put anything on the page. So initially I just want to get the words on the page, get the story there. And now at this stage I'm able to go back, read it for myself, because when you're editing your book, you're reading your book again. And in the reading, sometimes you catch something and how something's worded seems or feels a little awkward in the wording, or you feel like it could be worded better, and that's why we do this, so we can go back through and catch it and then make those adjustments here. Sometimes it's not that the wording feels weird or that it feels bad, but you find that there's another way that you feel better about saying it. Sometimes you think, hey, I could have said this simpler. Or you can say, hey, I could have found a more interesting way to say it. So sometimes it's good to find a simpler way to say things if what's being said is something that should be simple and it's just a quick data point and move on. Sometimes when you're explaining or describing things, it's sometimes better to be more creative, more flowery, more descriptive in the writing. When you really want to set a scene, paint a picture in somebody's mind, then those are the times when you can be, for lack of a better way to say it, more flamboyant in the wording and the writing of what you're doing. But there's also always that balance. You don't want to be wordy for the sake of being wordy, because a lot of people, when they read, including myself, I'm reading a book, and you can tell when someone's just using a lot of big words or flowery language that doesn't suit the scene or what's actually happening, and it just feels clunky. So it's an interesting balance to try to get right. And being someone who is not this world-class renowned writer, I haven't done 10, 20, 30, 100 books. This is only my second one, but even in doing that and having read a number of books, I kind of get a feel for sometimes wording can be changed up, can be simpler in certain scenes. And so when you're going through the first round of editing, you're doing it yourself, you're going to catch these things, and that's why you do your first round, because you can catch things. And just like I said when we were in the writing phase, things that you can catch early saves your editor some time and some effort. We're still going to go through with paying an editor, having an editor do their part, but once again, we're finding ways to clean some things up so that the editor doesn't have as much to do. It also depends on what type of editor you're using. If we're going with just a copy editor, or you're going with someone who's because there are different types of editors. You're going to an editor whose primary focus is grammar, punctuation, and that kind of thing. Then that's, for the most part, the things they'll be looking at. They won't be really looking at story. If you're going for someone whose focus is more on the actual content of the story, the flow of the story, then they may not be as focused on the spelling, punctuation, grammar. They're going to be focused on the story content itself and how it flows and the different story beats and how they hit. And so um, it's good to know what type of editing you want, what type of editor you want to assist you, and then to know what they're going to expect or what you should expect from them. So that if you're going for an editor because you want them to go through your story and kind of see, hey, what story beats did I miss, or how did I miss, or how could I have explained this better, and how does this flow, then don't go to them expecting to clean up a lot of your punctuation. That's something you got to pay another editor for, or you expect to take the time to go in and do yourself. So either way, things that you can clear up, catch on your own in the process helps them to do what they do quicker, which means they can get through it faster, get back to you with more directed, more focused feedback quicker, and then you can make the adjustments faster, and then you can get your manuscript, your script, your book, or whatever it is, ready for publishing faster. So occasionally you will go through and you end up rewording something, and it's quite possible you'll think something doesn't sit quite right, and you want to reword it, and you'll go through an editor and he'll say, actually no, it should actually be like this, and you end up having to change it back, and the way you wrote it the first time was probably the better. So that's okay too. Changing things, going back, changing things, changing them again, it happens. And even after the book is done, it's finished, it's published, and the book is out, I've seen other writers say, oh, I would have changed this, I would have done this different. I think one that I thought was interesting is Alan Moore's Watchmen. Read the book, watched the movie, loved the movie. I know from what I've understood that he's not a fan of people adapting his written works into film. But it was interesting seeing that he thought that the end of the Watchmen in particular in the film was actually better than the ending he wrote in his own story. So, I mean, it's interesting to see an author being able to admit that. So that's, even after you put something out there that is revered and people love, and it's gotten acclaim, you may go back and say, you know what, actually I think the way this person adapted it was better, or you know what, I probably should have written that better. So we do the best you can. You always put your best forward, but you may find going on that, you know what, I could improve. This could be better. This could have been done better. And as you continue to write, you continue to do these things, you continue to, anything you practice enough, you spend enough time practicing, eventually you're going to get better at, to some degree or other. So. Mm-mm. listen to each and every place that's out for right now. Short stream tonight, folks, but we just went over a few things, made a few slight changes and adjustments, and I think that's good. So it was worth doing, but at the same time, no sense in dragging this out too much longer than we need to. Given the pace we're at, I think we're looking at one more stream of me editing this. So that'll be next week on Monday, hopefully. When that's done, the Kickstarter's going. We're looking at going forward with the publishing of the first book and hopefully getting some things in order so that we can be working on publishing the second as well. Looking to have that going as soon as possible. So I'm looking at probably by August, at least August of this year. I want to hopefully have the first and possibly even the second published. So that I would really like that to be the case. Either way, once we've started the process and that's going, we're going to go on and start writing the third book. So the third book will get started, and of the two stories from the notes that I have on the overall story, the build-up of this world, the next story, if things go well, should be the story of the exiled one, which, if you read the first book, you'll have seen a little bit of lore about who that is and what happened there. And so I'm looking forward to getting started on that and getting that one done. And so in between time, when we're writing and doing some other things on the stream, we may also do some gaming while we're at it. Right now, I'm always playing Warframe. I've actually been playing a little bit of the Elder Scrolls Online, doing some more of that, and I do have my eyes on Claire Obscura Expedition 33, so I'm really looking forward to that. If possible, I'd really like to stream that here as well. So a lot of different things I'd like to be doing on the channel, but the big thing is want to get this first book published and hopefully get this one done as well, and then start looking at working on the third book. Having said that, thank you for joining me this evening. Hopefully you'll join me again next week. But either way, I'm going to say be good to each other, be good to yourselves, stay good, good night.